security officials said the government lifted industrial fuel oil subsidies last week as part of a reform program prompting labor protests by quarry and brick factory workers. Egypt has been gripped by unrest in recent days, partially because of public discontent with new government measures designed to deal with a crippling budget deficit. But the unrest has also been political, as criticism of President Mohamed Morsi's government is on the rise. So, Mrs. Nada, if we say that there is a fine line which separates freedom of expression, expressing your opinion and asking for your rights, and at the same time hindering people's work and cutting roads and railways. So how do you see this?
Actually, no one can deny that the current government doesn't really have any successful project, and no one have witnessed or had any tangible achievement for it. Maybe they have good plans for the future, but people are really keen about the near future more than the far future. It's not necessary to blame President Morsi for it, but the Prime Minister is to be blamed because he doesn't communicate well with the community as well. Public communication is very important and should be on top of the current government priorities, because people need to know. People can bear hard times when they understand where they are taking them. But when things are very unclear and there's always there's no path to walk on, they are going out of the way. That's equal.
But
and that's
they
part
are
of the public
their
opinion.
In this case,
people, no, not really. They're having public pressure. And sometimes public pressure is good and positive when your voice is not heard. And the government doesn't really want to respond back that they know what people need. That a communication link should be built. This is the problem. There's no proper communication between the government and the people. This is why the public pressure is enforced recently, and you can see that on all scenes, all political scenes all over Egypt.
Yes. But don't you think also that in this case, for example, people have high expectations regardless of the conditions after the January 25th revolution?
Not really very high expectations. People just want to live as they lived in the past. They're not really asking for more. They know that to achieve their highest targets, that would take them time, and they accepted that from the very early beginning. But they wanted to maintain the same conditions that they have there lived on for the past 30 years, where there was the major corruption that the country have ever witnessed. And the problem is with the bread, the roads, the gasoline, the petrol, and the oil, the basic commodities that every person needs on the daily life to go to work. That's the real problem. If they can manage to live their daily life fine and to go to work on the regular conditions without any troubles, they won't be such troubles.
And we have another headline from Al-Ahram Online, and we read, "No return to military rule in Egypt for now, experts say." Despite recent easing of tension between presidency and military, conjecture remains as to possible return by the latter to Egypt's hectic political scene if the situation becomes dire enough. The administrator of a website close to Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood on Sunday denied in no uncertain terms a statement attributed to his website suggesting that President Mohamed Morsi had upbraided Defense Minister Abdel Fattah al-Sisi following a statement made by the latter and his top aides suggesting the military's readiness to intervene in Egypt's chaotic political scene in case of a national emergency. Mrs. Nada, the statements that were lately announced by the Egyptian army and all the efforts done by the army in order to secure security in Port Said and Ismailia and also in Sinai. How do you see the stance of the army recently?
Actually, I praise the army's role in such a situation. They are playing the game right.
Excuse me, we have to wrap up our episode because thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for latest updates on Nile International.